Hey everyone, today we're going to be checking out the new Siege Collection from Vertx, which includes a 25-liter backpack and a 15-liter sling bag. And these seem like a great addition to Vertx's lineup of everyday carry bags and accessories. They have a little bit more of a tactical vibe, but they seem like really functional, comfortable options, and I've had a chance to use them for a couple of weeks now, and in this video I'm going to be talking about what it's been like to test them. I'll show you how I've loaded them out, walk through all the features, and I'll also talk about how they compare to some of the other similar bags that are currently on the market. Before jumping into the video, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the Siege Backpack, this definitely has a pretty tactical and functional vibe. You have the laser cut webbing on the front, compression straps, pockets, attachment points, so it's not a minimal bag by any means. This definitely has a rugged and adventurous vibe that feels like it's going to be right at home in the outdoors, and it's still going to be something that I'd be comfortable using for traveling or exploring a city. As far as the materials, the bag feels pretty solidly built. This exterior fabric is a 330D nylon that feels like it's going to offer a nice amount of durability and weather resistance. And I like that this isn't a super rigid fabric, so it's going to mold around the items that are on the inside and give you just that extra bit of flexibility. And then beyond that, you have just really solid components as far as these straps, the buckles, and some very smooth working YKK zippers all throughout. Continuing along the outside of the bag, I was happy to see that you have two external water bottle pockets, and these are going to offer a nice amount of capacity. Really elastic material here. It was able to easily handle my 26-ounce Yeti Rambler. You can see that it's a secure hold there, so it's not going to fall out of the pocket if the bag tips over. And I like that you have one on each side, so you can store an extra water bottle, an umbrella, or other item that you might want to use this type of pocket for. And then because of that elastic material, when it's not in use, they don't stick out too much. And then above those, you have some compression straps that you can pair with, a taller item if you want to store a tripod, or you can maybe attach a jacket to the exterior of the bag. You have some good strap management here. This can also help compress the bag down when it's not quite as full. And you have some attachment points here, which could work well with, a carabiner. This is the type of place where I might attach my hero clip or something else. And then on the front, you have a hook and loop area that you can use to customize the bag with a variety of patches. Here I have my one-piece patch, and so you have a larger area here and one at the top that's a little bit slimmer. And along the front, you also have the webbing that you can use to attach additional accessories and clip-on lights, EDC accessories, carabiners here as well. So it's pretty easy to get stuff in and out with the amount of space that's offered here. Even my hero clip, which is a little bit thicker and doesn't always work well with the laser cut Molly, it does a good job here. And then on the front, you have this little lip here that can work as a handle to pair with the handle at the top. So this is a pretty simple handle here, but it gets the job done and will allow you to hang the bag up or pick it up. And then you have this point here to grab the bag when you need to. And on the front, one of the cool aspects about this series is that you have this expandable pocket, which is secured with these buckles. And there's a good length here to give you the ability to really expand it out for when you want to store items that are a little bit larger that don't fit on the inside of the bag. This is a type of pocket that I would use to store maybe an extra pair of shoes or a jacket. You can see it being used for, some types of helmets if you're commuting to work. And so, really just nice amount of flexibility provided here. This is an elastic material as well. And then you can adjust the straps here and really secure everything down. And then when you're not using it, it all just kind of folds in there. You can close it and, it just kind of stays out of the way. You have some additional attachment points on the bottom of the bag as well. And this isn't something that's going to stand up super well on its own. Due to the structure that's not super rigid and how the weight can shift around, I tend to lean this against the wall or the chair whenever I need to access the stuff that's on the inside. Moving into the capacity, the bag comes in at about 25 liters, which I'm always a fan of as it feels like a versatile size that can hold everything that you would need for your day-to-day. Even for longer days when you have to carry some extra stuff, it can work for minimal travel, but it doesn't feel overwhelmingly big as you're carrying it around. When you pack this out, it can hold a pretty good amount. It can start to feel a little larger, but it manages to maintain a pretty good profile, particularly since the materials of the bag aren't that rigid. So even when it's been loaded out, felt like something that I could carry onto a variety of domestic and international airlines and just use for navigating a crowded city or jumping onto public transit. Continuing with the harness system, so far the bag has been really comfortable to wear. I like how the straps have been implemented here. They have a nice amount of padding. It's really soft, comfortable. On the inside, you have a breathable mesh to help prevent moisture from building up. And then the straps have a good width to help prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders when it's a little bit more packed out. I like that the padding extends up around the top of the shoulders near the neck. And then you have some webbing on the straps that you can use to clip on additional accessories. You have an adjustable sternum strap, which is nice here. It has plenty of length so that you can adjust it and you can move the positioning, and you have these buckles that secure it well. And on the straps, you have these elastic pockets, which are gonna be nice for storing things that you wanna get to more regularly. Maybe you can place your phone in here, some snacks, and a portable charger for your phone. So I don't normally use these pockets too much, but with the amount of space that they offer, I could see how they would be quite useful. You have an elastic band in each of these as well. And then at the bottom, you have the quick release buckles for the straps. So if you want to, place this around a table leg or your chair to give you some theft deterrence, it's also gonna make it easy to get the straps off quickly without adjusting the length. And you do have some good strap management here. At the bottom, you have attachment points for a waist strap that is included. You can fully remove it. I always take these off because this is a pretty simple strap. It's not gonna necessarily add a ton of support, but it will help stabilize the pack if you need to. And then the back panel has also felt really, really comfortable. I love the padding that's been included here. Well distributed all throughout, really comfortable, breathable material like we saw on the straps. I like that this is a little bit thicker too, and it's also elevated to give you these deep air channels to provide plenty of ventilation while you're walking around throughout the day. Jumping into the organizational options, at the top you have a nice quick access pocket. This is gonna offer a good amount of space. Currently I have my sunglasses with their case in there. I have a charging cable for my phone, a headlamp. I also tossed in my mouse, and there was still plenty of leftover capacity in here. This has a soft lining on the inside, so you have anything that you want to protect from scratching. This might be a good spot for it. And then you also have a quick access pocket on the front. And this one has dual zipper pulls so that you can open it from either direction. It also has Vertx's, really large pull tab here to make it easy to get into the compartment. And this offers a nice amount of space as well. At the moment, I just have my alpaca admin pouch, but this area has hook and loop backing, so you can configure it with a variety of pouches if you're using it for off-body carry or anything like that. Moving into the main compartment, this does have a full clamshell style opening. With the way that the zipper is laid out here, I like that you could use this as a top loader if you want to just reach in and grab something quickly. And you also have the ability to open this from the bottom on either side. So you have full access to the main compartment without having to actually open up the full flap, which is really nice. And then the zippers for this compartment, as well as the front compartment, have the ability to lock to give you a little bit of additional theft deterrence. And on the bottom, this was something that I found interesting, is that you do have one edge of the lockable zipper here. And so I don't know if there's a cable lock that could go across the front to secure both of these, or if you would just use these attachment points with the lock. Either way, it seems like there's solutions for preventing easy access to this area if you want to lock it down. I just leave it open, and I like being able to reach in and grab something from the bottom when I need to. So good flexibility as far as the access there. And then when you want to get into the inside of the bag, you can open it all the way up. And then with the 25 liters of capacity and the layout that this has, it can hold an impressive amount. I just piled in a bunch of my typical sort of accessories and gear. I have a packable rain jacket, the Evergood Civic Access pouch, 1 liter, the Lockbee Tech pouch. I have my Beats Studio wireless headphones, an extra Peak Design packing cube. I have the Civic Access pouch, 1 liter. Again, I have 2 of them with different use cases. The Civic Access pouch, 2 liters at the bottom. And even with all those items in there, it still felt like there was a little bit of space where I could have squeezed something else in if I wanted to. And then with this open layout and the amount of space that's provided, this could definitely work for minimal travel. If I wanted to toss in my packing cube, a dopp kit, an extra pair of shoes, I would easily be able to use this for a longer weekend trip. And on the inside here, you have additional organization. So on the sides, you have a couple of slip pockets And I like this one for holding something like the Evergood Civic Access Pouch half liter. I also placed my jacket in there so you have a good amount of volume. You'll want to be careful if you're using a water bottle. On the outside, this might start to feel a little bit tight, and then you have another similar pocket on the other side. And here you have a zippered compartment with this nice material here. It's this mesh that you can kind of see through, and you have a good amount of volume. At the moment, I have my USB-C hub with cables to charge all of my devices, so I like how much capacity is offered there. And then on the back, you have a tablet sleeve, and there is hook and loop backing here. So this is gonna be, again, something that you can configure with some of the accessories that Vertx sells. There's other companies that also have Velcro compatible accessories that you can attach and tear away quickly. And then I like that there is a dedicated tablet sleeve. This offers some padding. It's not just a slip pocket, which is nice to see. And it is pulled up off the bottom of the ground. I was able to store my iPad mini in there with a case really comfortably. And then behind that, you have a padded laptop sleeve. And again, I like that this isn't just a slip pocket. There is some padding here. This will be able to handle a 15 or 16 inch laptop. Currently, I have my 14-inch MacBook Pro. You can see there's plenty of leftover space. This is also elevated from the bottom of the ground. Now, because this structure isn't super rigid, depending on how you place the bag down, if it leans forward, there's always a little bit of a chance of the bottom making contact with your laptop. But because of the rigidity of the back, when I drop it in and the bag's loaded out, it does feel like it's protected. And so pulling my device out, now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside. This does come up a decent amount, and you can also use this for a hydration bladder. You have this attachment point here, this strap with the Velcro, so you can use that to kind of organize the nozzle. And there is a pass-through here if you're using this for hydration. So, they kind of covered all their bases there. And with the amount of padding that's offered here, the fact that it's suspended, it does feel like my laptop is gonna be well protected. I do wish that this had been maybe an external compartment separate from the main area, just so that I could get to it a little bit easier. With many of these types of compartments, when everything is on the inside of the bag, it can be a little bit uncomfortable to get my device in and out. But because the lip isn't super tall, I didn't have too many issues. One additional thing to call out with the laptop sleeve and the back of the bag is that you have the ability to add some of the body armor inserts that Vertx sells. There is a compartment here on the bottom secured with Velcro, and you can open this up and slide that in there if that's one of the accessories that you want to purchase. If you're looking for some added sort of functionality there, that was pretty interesting. I haven't used too many bags with that in the past. And then on the lid, you have some extra organization, more hook and loop backing here. You have a simple pocket that I didn't end up using because I had so much stuff here in this area, but it does offer a nice amount of space. And you have a little lanyard with a clip. And above that, you have a couple of slots for a pen, a stylus. I have a pen here, and then some additional elastic webbing here that you can use for all sorts of different gear. You have some thinner loops that are great for something like a flashlight, pocket knife, and then the larger ones on the back, maybe for thicker cables or tools. And so a nice amount of organization and space in this main area. It's nice that you do have the ability to customize it a bit with hook and loop compatible accessories if you want to, or you can just use the built-in organization. So great to have some options there. And then I just really like how everything was laid out on the exterior of the bag, the added functionality, for the water bottle pockets, this pocket on the front. And if you're looking for a flexible everyday carry pack that's gonna offer a nice amount of space and a comfortable harness, and this is gonna be a great option to take a look at. Coming back to the 15-liter sling, it's got a lot of the same design touches as the backpack, so it's a little bit more tactical and functional as far as the webbing, the compression straps. It has the same 330D nylon on the exterior, YKK zippers, and then it also has an external water bottle pocket, which is great to see. Now this is a smaller bag, so I would probably, be comfortable putting something like this 20-ounce water bottle in here, or an umbrella. That larger 26-ounce bottle I think would be a little tight. This is fairly elastic, but I think it would just feel a little too bulky, so that size worked well. You still have a great carrying handle at the top, and then the laser cut webbing here still works great with a hero clip, so all the same touches. You can see that the color here is gray as opposed to the coyote kind of brown colorway that I had for the backpack. I believe that both are offered in the black color as well. And then as far as the capacity, as the name implies, this comes in at about 15 liters, which is an interesting size for a sling bag. To me, that almost starts to feel more like a smaller everyday carry backpack, which is part of the reason that I like it, because it gives me a little bit more space and flexibility than many of the sling bags that I typically tend to test. And so I'm sure people will either really like that or not be as crazy about it. I know some prefer to have a sling bag as a more minimal solution. I'm sure Vertx has some smaller sling bags, and so this strikes an interesting middle ground between, a backpack and a sling bag. And I think that this capacity is able to hold a good amount. It still doesn't feel as bulky and large as, a true EDC bag like the ones that I would normally use, but it does give you more space than many sling bags, more like a messenger bag, I guess. And so, a nice balance there. It still never feels overwhelmingly bulky and is able to hold a good amount of stuff. And then moving into the harness system for this one, you do have a really nice strap that's well padded, similar style to what we saw on the backpack, so plenty of breathability here. And you have the ability to adjust the strap depending on which shoulder you wear this over, which is great to see that adjustability. You have a buckle here so that you can quickly release it. You have a great pocket here on the middle so that you can store your phone. And then the back panel, like the backpack, has the really nice padding here. It's elevated, it's breathable, you have this air channel. So even though this is a little bit larger, you can add more weight to it. As I've been wearing it for a longer period of time, it still felt quite comfortable. And moving into the layout, very similar sort of style as to what we saw with the backpack. On the front, you have this awesome pocket that has the ability to expand. So you can use this to store, again, maybe an extra pair of shoes, a jacket, anything bulkier that won't fit on the inside of the sling bag. And at the top, you have quick access pocket. This one is definitely smaller than the one that's on the backpack. It was able to hold my sunglasses comfortably. Would also be a good spot for charging cables, for my AirPods. It has the soft lining on the inside for anything a little bit more delicate. And then on the front, you again have the everyday carry compartment that's lockable with the dual zipper pulls. And then this at the moment is holding some of the items that I'm accessing most regularly, the headlamp. I have my charging cable here, and I also use this to store my alpaca admin pouch, but you have the hook and loop backing here that's going to allow you to configure it with a variety of other accessories if you want to. And you still have the patch on the front that will allow you to customize the bag. And the more narrow strip that was on the top of the backpack is actually on the side of the sling bag. So great that you still have both of those things available. And taking a look at the main compartment, this is a clamshell style sling. It has the ability to lock, and really like that you can open this up for full visibility, and very, very similar style to what we saw on the backpack, just kind of shrunken down. And so you have a nice open space. I have a smaller subset of the items that I had earlier as far as my Lockbee tech pouch. I have my headphones, and then I have the Vertx Civic Access pouch 1/2 liter. On the back, you have dedicated tablet and laptop sleeves, which is great to see. And so this was able to hold the iPad mini again, similar style. And then the laptop sleeve is well padded. This is my 14-inch MacBook Pro. You can see that it fits in there comfortably. I think this is probably the largest size laptop that I would be comfortable storing in here. And this is a little bit pulled up off the bottom of the ground. You can see that there is a gap there, again, with the fact that this isn't super rigid. If you place it forward, there is a chance that there could be some contact, but in general, this is a well padded sleeve, and I feel like my device is going to be well protected while I'm running around. And as I mentioned with the backpack, this also has that compartment on the bottom that is, a little bit more hidden. It's got this Velcro closure here. And so you can open this up, and then Vertx has their body armor plates. They have specific ones for different sizes of bags. So this one is actually designed to work with the sling. You can place this underneath and, add that in if an accessory that you want to have with you. So that integrates pretty nicely there. You can still use the laptop sleeve. It's still gonna offer the same amount of space. And then you have that additional protection if you want to include that. So great kind of additional feature there. And then you have some slip pockets on the side for any items that you don't want floating around loosely. You have a smaller zippered pocket here with that see-through mesh that I'm using to store my mouse. This one is quite a bit smaller, of course, than the one that was on the backpack. I'll go ahead and pull my laptop out. And again, you have a pass-through if you want to use this sleeve for a hydration bladder. And on the other side, a couple of slots for a pen, for a stylus. I have my bolt action pen there, and then the same sort of loops that you can use for flashlights, pocket knives, other EDC gear, and a zippered pocket, hook and loop backing here and here to allow you to customize the bag, and then a good amount of space. I have a nail clipper set and my Tom Band Ghost Wheel pouch. Both of those fit in there comfortably, and you have the little lanyard with the clip for your keys. So again, useful layout. I really like the amount of space that's offered here. Great to have a larger sling bag offering for people that prefer that type of carry but don't want necessarily a larger full-fledged backpack. This one is going to offer a lot of these same nice organizational touches as the backpack. And if you're looking for a sling bag that can also handle a laptop, and this is going to be a really interesting option to take a look at. And so to wrap up, it's been a great experience testing out the new Siege Collection over the past couple of weeks. At the time of filming, I don't have the finalized pricing for these items, but based on how some of the other gear on their site is priced, I think that the backpack will probably come in at around the $200 price point, and then the sling bag maybe $100, $150. But again, those are just my guesses. I'll make sure to include links in the description below to the product pages once they're live, so that you can check them out if you're interested in learning more about these bags. And so as I was testing these out, the first bag that they made me think of are some of the options from 511, particularly the Rush 12, which I've been talking about a lot over the past year. I'm a big fan of that bag. It's got a more tactical aesthetic, really nice organizational layout, solidly built. That's a bag that's been around for a while at 24 liters. It has a very versatile size. It's got a clamshell style opening. And so, I've just been a big fan of that bag. It also comes in at a pretty good price point for the quality and features that it offers. So if you're looking for an everyday carry bag that's going to give you the flexibility that comes with a more tactical layout, then that's going to be an excellent option to take a look at. Another bag these made me think of is the Vertx backpack from VanQuest. That one's going to have a more subdued aesthetic. It looks like, a more minimal kind of modern techie bag, but it offers a lot of the functionality that you would expect from an everyday carry bag. So it's got hook and loop lining on the inside so you can configure it with a variety of accessories. It's got nice pocketing, a really good organizational layout, dedicated laptop compartment that's padded, suspended, comfortable harness system. It's offered in a 25-liter size and an 18-liter size, so you have some variety there. And so if you're looking for something that's going to offer a solid build quality, a more minimal aesthetic, but still lots of organization, that's going to be a great option to keep in mind. And then the last option that I'll mention here is the Eberly Stock Switchblade, which is another really great everyday carry bag that has a functional layout, comes in at around 29 liters, so it's pretty spacious. It had a full clamshell style opening, dual external water bottle pockets, lots of organization for your stuff, an excellent quick access pocket, padded laptop sleeve that's suspended, comfortable and adjustable harness system. And so really just checks off a lot of the boxes for what I would be looking for out of a bag like that. And if you want something that's going to give you that functional look that's going to, translate well into the outdoors, for exploring a city, for traveling, and give you plenty of comfort, then that's going to be a fantastic option to consider. With that being said, the Siege Collection holds up very well against all those options. I really enjoyed using both of these bags. As I've talked about in the past, I'm not super crazy about sling bags in general, but this is definitely the type of sling that I could see myself using more often, just given the size that it has, the extra organization, the fact that it can hold the laptop. It's also pretty comfortable. And then this 25-liter pack is definitely the type of thing that I really enjoy using, just with the size that it offers. It's very versatile. It's got a good organization, comfortable. So if you're looking for a versatile everyday carry bag or sling, if you want something that's going to give you some flexibility with what you can hold, good organization, these are going to be some great options to take a look at. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you all think of the Siege Collection and how these compare to some of the other popular EDC bags that are currently on the market. And if there's any similar options that you think that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank Vertx for sending the bags for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.